Hello and welcome to the show. I'm so happy that you're here. My name is Danny Parker and I will be your host for this episode 21 of The Shut-In Show. We made it 21 episodes. I feel like every episode is another small success. I'm very excited to be here with you, and I'm grateful that you're here with me. Thanks for your patience with the weird issues. I think I may have done that before, where I just didn't hit go live for a while. We'll see. I tell me in the chat if I've done that before, where it was just like waiting. Okay. Okay. It seems like something's coming through. Desktop audio's not coming through. Something weird is happening. Something very weird is happening. I think I've mostly fixed. Okay. I think I've mostly fixed it. Thanks for your patience, guys. It looks like the audio is coming through now. Pretty sure you will catch up. The chat will catch up. Okay, so let's get started. Thanks for your patience. Super weird. Seems to be still working. Pop in if it's not. Portal Combat, is that Alex or Isaac? I don't remember that. I see your stuff up all the time, like the name on like Steam and stuff, but I don't know. Okay. Up my audio here a little bit. Okay. Output. Some really aggressive. Okay. Let's just get into it then. Sorry guys. Alright, so pause this music so it's distracting. Here. This. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's talk about some good news. Finally. Get there. So the CEO of Twitter. Oh, nice. The CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, apparently likes being in the positive limelight because he got a lot of good feedback about saying all of his employees don't have to come back to in-person work ever if they don't want to, because he just donated $10 million toward free computers and internet access for students in the Oakland Bay. This is a city where half of the students lack reliable access. The Bay Area or Oakland, San Francisco, they're all so close to each other. Essentially, they have such a crazy wage disparity that like there are some people who have such a lack of technology because of finances, where in the city it's like known for its huge tech. Big irony. Twitter has its headquarters there, so Jack Dorsey donated $10 million towards this initiative by the mayor. The Oakland mayor tweeted, got 25,000 students who lack consistency. It's called Oakland Undivided. It's aiming to raise $12 million for this year, another $4 million thereafter. Because it seems more and more that internet device access, something that everybody needs to access services of any kind, whether you're MV or class or do whatever, right? There are so many different things that we use the internet for. A private company, nonprofit, moving us in that direction, but it's directed by city government itself. So I'm very curious about this. This is one of those things that I hope the pandemic can sort of push us towards publicizing internet. I don't know that we'll ever get fully there in the United States. Something that I'm very curious about, and I'd love to see it. Other good news that I saw today: a renewable biochemicals company in the Netherlands called Avantium is making all plant plastic bottles. The other sentence. I should just turn the noise gate off. I think that might help. I've been having weird issues with my tech just today. Like, I've never had these issues. Okay. Well, tell me if I'm still cutting in and out. I'll turn my volume down on my music so you don't get any of that. That should be better. Alright. Sorry, guys. Episode 21, the tech issues episode. Alright, so Renewable Bio Chemicals company in the Netherlands, Avantium, is partnering with Coca-Cola. Coke's, well, not partnering with them. Coke might be purchasing this product from them. It's a new technology making all plant plastic bottles made from sugars extracted from wheat, corn, and beets, as opposed to fossil fuels that are normally used to make typical plastics. So thereby combating the 3 million tons of plastic made every year, and which isn't typically actually recycled. Recycling is a complex system that does require somebody to want to purchase those recycled materials in order for them to actually be recycled. So these plastic bottles, this plant plastic bottle, is biodegradable given, I think they said 1 year in a compost bin or a couple years just in regular conditions. So much longer than we would prefer, but obviously they need to be able to hold things and not leak into the water or whatever. But clearly much better than like plastic, which is just around forever and is making gigantic, piles and flots them out in the middle of the ocean. So I'm excited about this. This isn't the first company to do this, but this is the first one that I heard about. And then Coke and another beer company is backing them, hoping to get product on the shelves as soon as 2023. So look forward to that, I suppose. Another company in the Netherlands, today is also the Netherlands episode, called, I didn't write down the name. Anyways, they put together a drone display using the Intel Shooting Star drone system. This system is designed to mimic what's called a murmuration of starlings. So when starlings move together, it's a very sort of natural and it's an instinctual thing for them. And so we've tried to copy this bioengineered thing to build in something similar to that in the programming of this cloud of drones. So they fly together and they don't run into each other, and they all sort of ask each other where they're at all times, and then move in tandem. If you watched the Super Bowl, not this year, but I think last year or maybe the year before, they used these as part of a presentation, I think during a Lady Gaga song or something like that. I think this technology is rad. I think it's really awesome, and light shows is just one of the ways that we can use it, but it's really cool. And the reason I bring it up is because there's this really gorgeous video made of the 75th anniversary of Liberation Day, marking the end of the Nazi occupation in the Netherlands. So kind of a big deal for the Netherlands, and it happens during this pandemic. So not very many people were able to go out and watch it in person. So they put together a really, really beautiful video that is just it's very nice. It's very, very beautiful. So I'm gonna play just a few minutes of this. I think it's gonna work well. Well, given today's technology challenges, it may not, but we'll see. And just a couple of minutes just to show you kind of what it's about. I put this on one screen, and then I was looking through kind of lists of good news on the next, and there's this gorgeous piano music sort of mixed in with the drone footage, and it's really pretty. Something that it's fairly long. It's about 15 minutes, and I may skip to show you the rotating heart. That was sort of the coolest part of this. They created a 3D image of a beating heart. So it's a giant heart shape you can kind of see here, and I'll just show you eventually when we get there. Yeah, let's pop into that. Isn't it? I'm gonna turn that music down. We can just have it play in the background a little bit. Gorgeous, gorgeous music and really pretty visuals. Yeah, I just ran across that today and thought that it would be kind of interesting to highlight, one, just the technology going into that, and two, just how kind of cool the Netherlands is, I guess. If you get a good look at the pianist that they've got playing, he's just got like long flowing hair. He looks like he's like 7'7" with this huge beard, and it's just, I don't know, it's what I would want like a national pianist playing for this sort of thing to look like. It's great. Alrighty, let's move into some more local news. Alright. So then I'll keep playing some music in the background there. Locally, well, semi-locally, No, I did not, Tad. Oh yeah, to get at what you guys are saying in the chat. So one of the things that they're aiming to do later on in the production of the bottles for the earlier story there is to use secondary waste from different companies. The first thing they're doing is not that. Like right out the gate, they're just trying to get the technology going, and you can buy corn anywhere, right? Like the U.S. has a lot of subsidized corn stuff, which is somewhat problematic. But yes, yeah, they're trying to use pieces of other processes to make these things. So, but this story, restaurants are opening up with social distancing all across the world. In Spokane, we have to wait until phase 2, and then restaurants will be able to open up with 50% capacity. So certain places in the world are figuring out how to make a restaurant still feel full or demarcate where you should sit and where you should not. In sort of interesting ways. And this is something that I saw a bunch of little stories here and there. So I collected them all, and I want to show you some pictures. This is a photo of it's a really fancy dine-in restaurant in Virginia that's got, you can kind of see, here I'll just make it full screen. These mannequins are dressed in mid-century garb, and they want to, I think there's a real human in the background too. Essentially, they're hoping that the patrons will still come and see that, really enjoy, like have that very high class experience, but with mannequins, sort of saying, all right, this is the restaurant's not empty, because when you're in a restaurant that feels very empty, it does feel sort of eerie. Oftentimes, it's too quiet. You expect things to be a certain level, and each restaurant sort of goes for, okay, we want this many people, which means this much noise and this much vibe. When you're there almost consistently, they have the same vibes, and so the vibe that they're trying to create, they're trying to maintain it with various ways. So another company or another restaurant in Bangkok is using these pandas to demarcate where you're supposed to be and where you're not supposed to be. So sitting at different corners of tables, you got a panda sitting next to you, pretty adorable. And then a third one in Australia is just using cardboard cutouts. So yeah, these things could be a little odd, a little creepy. The mannequins are definitely pretty weird. And I think the cardboard cutouts are a little bit less weird. But I think that the heart behind it all makes a lot of sense. And it's like the thing that you want to do is sort of know if where you should sit and not have to worry about that, right? Like usually when you're in a restaurant, somebody points at the spot, but then if you're supposed to be maintaining social distancing, you don't want to have that whole conversation if you're just out to like have a nice meal, right? So I don't know if they're going to be playing noise tracks over the speakers, but that's not a bad idea, not a bad way to kind of go about it, though it would be odd if it was the only person in there and it was like playing through the speakers. I think it would be kind of weird, but it would be interesting to see what other companies do. And this is something that I'm excited to see in Spokane. I'm going to just move it back to the pandas because it's the cutest one by far. Yeah, I'm curious what they'll do in Spokane. What do you guys think in the chat? Like, I think that a lot of restaurants are probably just going to take out chairs or like mark it with tape on the table or something. But hopefully we get some people kind of doing something that's a little more interesting, a little more exciting, and making the restaurant feel full is another like nice way to do that. So I know that bars, like the bar inside of a restaurant, will not be able to open just because it's more high traffic and pretty tightly compact by definition, and it's where a lot of food prep happens, or drink prep rather. And so I'm just thinking now, like, if I go to one of my favorite restaurants, let's say the pizza place Flying Goat, and they've got the bar, and it's just like a lineup of teddy bears that are just sitting like on the bar. I think that would be pretty funny. I think that would be really enjoyable to see, like, oh, these guys, it's just a bunch of bears out here like having a drink or whatever. Mark, holograms might be good, but it just, I don't know if our technology is 100% there. we'll see, man. You tell me. You live on the west side, so if they've got any better tech over there, and they probably have more tight restrictions. So, yeah, let us know if you see any holograms. Take some pictures if the photos will actually work. Anyways, let's move on to our next story. Oh, you know what? I was going to show you another thing. Yeah, okay. So the next story for today is I'm going to show you some footage that I found online of these two old nuclear cooling towers that they are demolishing. And it's really cool. And I think I found the right thing. I'm not sure which one I ended up downloading. But I'll just show you a few seconds of this clip. Germany is aiming to take their reactors offline by the end of 2022, all of their nuclear reactors. And so these two are in Philipsburg in South Germany, and as part of their plans to move towards more renewable energies in the future, which is something that's sort of happening globally right now. A lot of coal plants are shutting down. I've been reporting on that a little bit, just because of the lack of need for electricity right now. So, body pillows. I could see a body pillow, Tad, like your waifu sitting up on the bar there. All right, let's see if I can get this to work. And yeah, here we go. So one, I think this is a cool story. Two, I just think that it is really dope to see like the different ways that buildings kind of go down. I like that they sort of fold, they start to look organic when they're collapsing, like paper. Okay, that's a cement building. And it just bows in the middle like it's nothing. It's so heavy. And they had cameras on the inside? I'm wondering how they got the camera. Maybe it's like one of those things where you got like a feed out with a wire, and so you just expect your GoPro to get destroyed or something. Anyways, so they destroyed these as a part of their making Germany more green plan for 2022. So that's some sweet destruction footage for you today. Let's get back into here. There we go. And then for our last segment, let's talk about the bill that just passed in the House. It's called the HEROES Act. Now, this bill still needs to go to the Senate for approval and then needs to be signed by the President to be fully put into law. Thanks, social studies class, for that. I was actually just talking to a student about that, like, I don't know, a week or two ago, how a bill becomes a law. So, the HEROES Act might land more cash in a lot of Americans' pockets. It's an additional $1,200 per person. So for a married couple, that would be $2,400, and in a family, it's per person in the family. So a family of four would have, the math, $4,800. Is that right? Hopefully. And it would add nearly $1 trillion in aid to state and local governments, and extending the unemployment benefits through January 2021, giving an additional $600 for unemployment. Expanded coronavirus testing, contact tracing. So that's like, say I come down with the stuff, who have I seen in the last week? Who have they seen in the last week? Trying to make sure we can put stuff down. Hey, Brian, you know about nuclear power plants. Wait a second. Anyways, Brian, tell me later if you've got any insider information about the nuclear power industry in Germany. Okay, moving on. Let's see, other things that this HEROES Act might add. $10 billion for supplemental nutrition assistance programs to support anticipated increases in participation in food stamps. So this is essentially trying to get food out to people who need it right now, because if you don't have a job, if you can't buy food, you got to be receiving stuff from the government. And another $3.6 billion for grants to state for emergency contingency planning and prep for elections for federal office. So lots of things in that bill, though Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is still calling it an unrealistic wish list. It did pass by a narrow margin in the House, but the Senate is a little bit more Republican controlled. So hopefully we're going to move into maybe more Americans are going to be getting more government assistance in the form of just cash directly into their account. That seems to be something that like we could all potentially benefit from. I'll keep an eye on this, but it's one of those like I don't know when or how it's going to be passed. They have been doing a good job of making sure some things go out to people, and like I don't know. I know we haven't been moving as fast as we ought to, but at least for me and a lot of the people that I am aware of, the stimulus packages and the various systems are working, and it's exciting to see more things coming down the pipeline. So I'm excited about this. I think it can potentially do well by a lot of people. Here we are. Oop, not that one. Yes, the White House has threatened to veto it. Just saying, Trump was quoted as calling it DOA, dead on arrival. So we'll see. I don't know. It's hard to know what's going to happen, but we can be hopeful that some of the things might come through. At least, if not in that, in some revisions in the Senate. So, that's pretty much all the stories we have for you today. I wanted to update you guys. So I'm moving into a new semester at Gonzaga where I'm not sure what the timing is. I've been able to do this 3 days a week because, one, all online classes, and two, I didn't have any classes that conflicted at the noon time. No meetings or classes that have conflicted so far, but I'm starting up some stuff at Gonzaga. I will be in a lit class for the next couple of weeks, and then I think it's like 3 classes at the same time for the beginning of my master's program at Gonzaga in the summer sequence 2, and that'll be in about another month. So it may be that I will drop to 1 or 2 shows a week. I am still figuring out what I want to do with this and what you want from this. I'm thinking that maybe having less shows might increase the amount of people who watch. But yeah, I guess we've got a good amount of people in the chat right now. So if you're curious about what I will be planning here, or if you want to suggest things that I might focus more of my time on, please let me know. I would really be curious to see, like, is the format what you are hoping for? I usually do some good news and some self-care and some Ronin news when it makes sense. But yeah, let me know. Shoot me a message or leave me a message in the comments. And if you haven't been here in a while, or if you haven't been here before, make sure to subscribe. It does help because I'm trying to get to some settings that are behind a 100 subscriber wall. So all that stuff. Smash that like button. You guys are great. Thank you so much for being here. This has been the Shut-In Show. Eat your lunch, call your folks, go for a walk. This has been the Shut-In Show. I'm your host, Danny Parker. Thanks very much.